Welcome to the Next Generation Dog Podcast, hosted by Melinda Benbow of Urban Uplander Pet Care and Bethany Carter of Sanguine Moon Kennels. Join Melinda and Bethany as they discuss dog breeds, sports, training, health, and much more with special guests. Tune in weekly for all things dedicated to dogs.
Well, welcome back to another episode of the Next Generation Dog Podcast. I'm your host, Melinda, with our other host, Bethany.
Hello. It's always exciting to be here with you, Mel, and this is such an episode that I'm really excited to go over.
I am pretty excited about this too. One of our very first episodes together was us announcing your foundation litter, the Woodstock litter, and we were excited back then. I knew that you had 11 puppies coming. They were beautiful. You did a wonderful job with them. 8 weeks later, it came time to start having puppies go home. You did a lot of awesome work finding what I consider the perfect home for these puppies. I highly recommend, if you haven't listened to our podcast episode where we do a whelping recap on this litter and tell you more about why this litter was so special for Bethany, definitely go back and re-listen to those episodes. But let's go ahead and get into how Go Home went and do a little bit of a where are they now? I know you had to get a lot of stuff ready to get these puppies to go home. Do you want to kind of let listeners know what that process looked like and what you got together for these families?
Yes. So first and foremost, health is always a forefront for me, being a vet tech. So I absolutely, when I knew that we had 11 puppies, went ahead and scheduled that appointment for vaccines and a veterinarian check with their full examination and a fecal. So I went ahead and got that scheduled and very eagerly waited for that day. So after vaccinations, it took about 2.5 hours with two vet techs and a doctor working on getting them. The room was filled with poop. No matter how much I tried to not, I didn't feed them. It was horrible. It stunk. They were biting at the doctor's scrubs. It was fantastic. Lots of laughs. We also put a lot of effort into making sure that everything was documented accordingly. Stitch was a little aggressive with her cleaning. So there were some umbilical hernias, which really are no issue at all. But I do like to have those things documented so that owners are aware that a veterinarian has looked at them and has also deemed it that it is okay to, wait until spay or neuter to repair it if needed at all. And then it also gives the opportunity for that new veterinarian to have that documentation and continue to further assess that umbilical hernia as it progresses. So after doing some of the health screenings, I went right into preparing for go home bags. This was a family affair. We had the kids involved. I did order from a very special friend, Olivia Koch with Liv's Creations, our logo on our bag, and then the kids and I and Mel, we tie-dyed, and we had a fantastic time tie-dyeing the bags because it's a Woodstock litter, so why not?
They're
After
really
tie-dyeing,
cool. I
they
really
are.
like that idea.
They were so unique, and each puppy got their own. Ryan went ahead and made custom collars that were biothane for each puppy that had little shotgun shells on there, which was so cute. So we had owners pick out their colors and the option between a leash and a collar. And I think only one owner selected a leash versus a collar. So the collars are pretty popular, and I see that they're still on the puppies, which oftentimes you do that and people don't want them. So I was really pleased to see
They're
that
actually
it was
putting them to
being
use.
used. Yeah, they were actually being
Yeah,
used.
that's a good feeling.
Yes. And then we tried to set up for success from there. So we sent home our kinetic dog food, our puppy food. It's a 28% protein for that slow growth, but still gives them enough protein and calories to continue on growing. We also sent home Purina Fortiflora, which is a probiotic that they could add as a supplement to the food, especially if they were going to be transitioning onto a new food. We included some bully sticks and treats and pig ears and just things to really keep the puppies busy, especially if the ones that were having those long road trips. We had one all the way down
Mhm.
in Tennessee, and we had one go to Wisconsin. So we tried to make it a little bit easier for owners. For those that were traveling, we also included some potty pads, and they didn't come prepared, some paper towels, because
Yeah,
vomit
absolutely.
was anything goes with puppies.
It's gonna
Um,
happen.
yeah. Our stud owner, Miss Debbie, was so very kind. And Mr. Major, their daddy, went ahead and sent some Nylabone little teething toys. It was so adorable. So those went in there as well. We also included a few other Nylabone products. We just really love those for chewing. And
Absolutely.
some canned
Yeah,
food just
those
to
are
kind of
great
help
too.
entice appetite,
Mhm, mhm.
if they were a little slow to eat, transitioning into their new home. What else? Oh, and we did a month of Trupanion insurance, that was free for the first 30 days. We included their microchip information, a contract. Most of them went to pet homes, so those are on spay and neuter contracts. I'm sure we can have an episode about contracts. That would be a whole thing.
Right, a whole
A whole thing.
tangent of its own. Absolutely,
Yes.
but that's the stuff you wanna send home with people,
Yeah.
starts with the vaccinations, ethical breeder getting these dogs started on deworming and vaccinations, which you guys definitely did. Um, I loved my go home bag. It was so cute. I still use it. It had everything in there really nicely. Yeah, you guys did a great job with that.
Yeah, it was really exciting. I really enjoyed putting it together. It was really a family affair. We all kind of helped out and did it, created those bags,
I mean,
and
grandma
every
even helped
component of
tie
it.
dye and everything.
Yes, yes, we pulled grandma out the house to tie dye. Um,
Yes.
we had so much fun, and just having a lot of quality puppy time. I think it was to say we had a lot of safe people come in, such as my grandmother, who is elderly, has a cane, so the puppies were exposed to that. They were exposed to lots of different shapes and shades and sizes of people, different
Mhm,
voice
mhm.
tones, hats, people without hats, long hair,
Yes,
curly hair,
absolutely.
so they came ready for people for sure.
Yeah,
Um, so
absolutely. You guys did a lot of good things, but they were around plenty of people, safe people. And, as a trainer, we remind people that socialization isn't just a whole bunch of people. It's taking in consideration, do these people look different? Do they sound different? Do their silhouettes look different? These things that dogs can get tripped up on. I know that she looks at everyone. We are out on our walks like friend, friend, friend. Everything around her is a wonderful thing, and that's the point. And you guys did a great job with that.
yeah, it was something I really wanted to focus on. I think puppy culture really embraced that aspect as well. That
Yes,
really set us up for success. So I was really appreciative of that program for sure and highly recommend it, or
absolutely.
even ones similar. Um, yeah, so 11 puppies went
11
away.
puppies. Oh my gosh. Did they all really go away though?
Did they
It
all
was
go away? That's
11.
the question.
We'll definitely get into that. And, nobody be scared that we didn't like keep 10 puppies or something like that.
No, 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 no.
But
We have still reasonable numbers
it's
in each household.
absolutely, absolutely. But let's go ahead and start talking about them. So I know one of my first favorites early on was Miss Yellow Puppy. She had some really cute ticking on her body, just
Yes.
some really unique patterns. So where is she now? What is she up to? What's her name?
So she was actually one of the first to be chosen. I did kind of guide those selections. However, we went to a kid's sign up for school, ended up meeting my son's new teacher. Her ex-husband was looking for a quality GSP, and we talked about having a litter coming up. And so after we spoke, he absolutely put down his deposit and said, I want a puppy. I knew that he had children. I knew his ex-wife, so I knew a little bit about him already. So I kind of had my eye on Yellow Girl. She was really, really affectionate with the kids, extremely affectionate. She would seek the kids out, and she was one of the kindest mouths that we had out of a pack of 11. And so I knew that she would be very successful in a home with children, and that she was going to meet a lot of his criteria that he had.
Yeah.
So she is local here in Indiana. She's about 30 minutes from us. So she's not too far, but she's living the life. She is a pet home, but is a babysitter by nature with the kids, and
Yeah.
they are having such a wonderful time.
I love that. I love that she gets to be with kids. She was a super affectionate dog, which is just the main thing you gravitate to when it comes to this puppy. But knowing that she's local and we can still get some love from her every once in a while is
Yes.
it's fine by auntie. I'll take it. And I when we were first now just to let the cat out of the bag, I definitely ended up wanting a puppy from this litter. I told myself for weeks that I wasn't going to do it. But then Red Puppy caught my eye. I ended up not going with Red Puppy because Bethany, being a wonderful breeder, did a great job selecting the homes for these puppies. And I got the best puppy for me. But Red Dog, what is she up to? Where's she at? What's her name? How's she doing?
I love her. So her
She was a
parents
fun
are,
puppy.
she was a fun puppy. Her parents are also local here in Indiana. They had been following us on social media for some time, kind of staying quiet. And then they saw our post about our puppy socialization at a local shop. And so when they went with the intent that they were not going to get a puppy. They were not going to
Yeah.
even
I think
consider
they said it
it
was just
because
like a
they had,
date night thing,
yes,
pet some
they just kind of wanted
puppies.
to have some love, hanging out.
Yeah.
Um, and they ended up falling in love. And I think it wasn't but the next day that they had
Yep.
contacted me and said, we need an application.
Uh,
Um,
I called you the next day, like, "Did they call you?" And you're like, "Oh, yeah,
yes.
absolutely."
Oh
I
yeah.
mean, oh,
It was amazing. They are Stranger Things nerds. And so
I love it,
they wanted to
as
go
am
with
I.
that theme. So her registered name is Sanguine Moon's Strangest Things Millie, and her call name is Millie. She is a, oh my God, I tried to trade them. I was like, are you sure I can buy that puppy back from you? Because she
Oh, I
looks
loved
so
her.
nice, so nice. They are an active home. They didn't intend on doing anything at first, but now they're starting to look at some of those sports and seeing that she's excelling. We, that we go to the local conservation club about 30 minutes from us, and we have a lot of fun. We've done some bird introduction with those ones that have stayed local, getting
Mhm.
them really involved with quail. We've gotten gunfire gone off in several phases. So some puppies are able to be really shot close to and are doing well having that neutral response.
Yeah,
So she is one of
she's
those.
fun.
She is a beautiful puppy. The owners
She
are
is. She's
really working on
smart.
obedience. Yes. And so I had a moment where we were out walking in the trail. She had strayed away and had followed me a little bit as I was photographing. And her owners called her name and just said, Millie. And she turned right
Yep,
around and whipped right back. And I thought that
yep.
was the sweetest moment. Sweetest
Oh,
moment.
it's great. She's great. As a puppy, I would watch her, from the early days in the little whelping area, and she just seemed like such a problem solver.
Mhm.
Anything that was in there, as soon as it was introduced, she seemed like the first puppy that wanted to figure it out, and that was for a trainer. That was very attractive to me. Like I loved that. But I love Millie for getting to be close still, and her family getting to be now a part of our bird dog family, and so it's
Yeah.
fun getting to watch her grow still and have new people part of our crew out of it. So another fun pup, another beautiful pup, Lime Green. Where is
Ah,
she? What is Lime Green up to?
Lime Green. She has the perfect name. Her name is Greta. And I just love these vintage style names, these
Yes.
authentic names. I love it. They are also in Indiana, but they're quite a ways away, a couple of hours. And she is living her best life on a farm. She has about
Ooh,
160 acres of her own that she runs around with the kids, with the family. And they were also a family that thought that they were going to come for a different puppy. And I kind of gave them the option between two or three that would be suitable. But I really ultimately
mhm.
wanted them to meet them so that they could really feel their personality. And I decided that really lime green was going to be the best bet for them, but I would allow them to, pursue other ones if they were interested. So they got there, and after about 10 or 15 minutes, the dad looks at me and he goes, "I think you were right. I think lime green is our girl." And I said,
She's
"Okay,
all
I
legs.
like that." She is all legs. She was the sweetest. She had the little snip on her nose.
Oh,
And
I
she just
loved
cuddled
her.
up to those kids, and it was a done deal for them. They had no other option.
Yeah. Yeah,
So,
any family that has kids is really, you can't go wrong with any of these puppies. If there's one thing they were conditioned to, it's being around young kids.
yeah, and they're loud. Let me tell you, my kids are not those very like silent, very
What?
dainty, extremely polite ones. They are rowdy. Our house is loud all the time. Uh, so these puppies were ready for the world. I'm
You
sure
said it.
gunfire was like a nap.
I
It
love
was
it. I love it. I
fun.
really liked Lime Green. She was definitely probably the most white of the group.
Hmm.
She had a lot of ticking that started coming in right before she left, and I just, I really liked the way her snip was straight up the center of her nose, and um, beautiful as all of them, but she was something special. Now, your Paxton's favorite, your daughter's favorite dog. If
Yep.
I'm wrong, let me know. Gray dog. Every time I'd come around, she would have that dog in her arms. I honestly thought you guys were going to keep this dog, but you didn't.
I
Where is
didn't.
Gray at?
Her name is Gypsy. Woodstock Gypsy is her name. She traveled all the way down to Tennessee. I had a family that was really interested in an ethically bred dog. And I found them through Good Dog, or they found me, I should say. We hit it off, and we had everything he was looking for. He came down. She is a breeding prospect. However, everybody goes home on limited registration
Mhm.
until they are able to fulfill what's in the contract, which includes health testing and titling. And so he was wanting to show me that he was dedicated about this idea. He went ahead and enrolled her in a STAR program so that she
Oh,
could work towards her STAR in CGC so that it could prove her temperament. They've really enjoyed her. I know that she is also exposed to their grandkids and has done well there. He sings high praises about her, and I think their family is really pleased to have Gypsy a part of their family.
I love that name. And I like that it's still the like Woodstock kind of
Yes,
theme that
it's
we all
that
have
free
going on.
spirit.
Yeah, I
Yes,
love it. It's a cute name. And at least, again, I know Pax loved that dog, but the fact that
she
you
did.
get to stay so close and connected with these puppy people, they never really go away at the end of the day. Um,
Yep.
so we did touch on, Hot Pink. I don't think she's one of our local dogs, right? Hot
No, she
Pink.
is.
Where is she?
She's 5 minutes
Hot Pink's a
from
local?
me. Yeah,
What?
she's five
How did
minutes.
I not know this? How's
Yeah,
Hot Pink doing? What's her
that
name? What's
was the
happening?
only way I let her go because she was the wild child. She was the
Yeah,
wild
yeah.
child. And
You gotta
I
keep an eye on
wanted
her.
to see her, yeah, I wanted to see her in doing something really busy because she's really busy. Um,
Yeah.
but I Ryan actually found this connection. He introduced the gentleman to our kennel after meeting
Yeah,
him for some
yes.
car service. His parents, Ryan's parents, and this gentleman live like right across the street from each other. So we get to stay in really close contact.
Awesome.
She gets to go swimming with us this summer. Like she'll be at our cookouts. It'll be a really fun time. So we'll still
Nice.
see her. She has a
Okay,
sibling,
good.
and her name is Hazel, and the siblings also with an H. I can't remember.
Okay, it's
But
all
it's
coming
super
back to
cute.
me now.
hmm
Harley?
Harley, that's what it is. Yes, it's Hazel and
Yeah,
Harley. It's
my
super
memory.
cute.
You see, it's all coming back to me now. I forgot
Yes,
she's local. We haven't got to see her at some of the puppy
yeah,
events that we've already got to have. So, but that's exciting. She's around still, because
yep,
we have a few puppies around still.
yes.
So we've talked about. Fortunately, there's so many in Indiana still, but we still have a nice, close knit group of puppies here. Whether
We
that's
have one
just puppy
more.
owners.
Green went to Wisconsin.
Oh, Green did go to Wisconsin. Let's talk about
hmm
Green. He's one of
Let's talk
the
about
only
Green real
couple
quick.
boys you had.
Yes, I had two boys. It was a 50-50 chance on who I was going to keep. Um, Green ended up being with very close to
How did
the
I
stud
forget about
owner.
that chunker?
I
I'm so
know.
oh,
Ryan
oh
and
my
I drove back up to Wisconsin, mostly because I convinced him that we should stop and get like cheese curds. But we went to Wisconsin and we dropped him off. We wanted to see where he would be at, how he would live. They have Waldo is their GSP that is the stud owner's brother, and then they have now the stud owner's son. So they're
ah.
keeping in the shooting star lineage. They really like that lineage. They want to stick with it. So we're able to provide that mix for them and still keep them in their like little family connection that they like to have.
Yeah.
His name is Rennie, Wrenny. Super cute, super handsome. He is humongous already. He is a beefy boy for sure. He is channeling in his grandfather.
Are they ready for all those cuddles? He's like the sweetest
The
boy.
sweetest. She has fallen in complete love with this dog. It
Awesome.
took them a while to figure out his name, but once they figured it out, he comes when called. He's just extremely obedient.
Yeah.
They've already got him pointing on pheasant and getting him involved in some hunting already. So he's going to be great. He's going to be a wild bird hunter and he's going to be
I
phenomenal.
love that name. I actually did not know his name until right now. And that is
Yeah,
such a cute name.
it is.
Rennie. I
All right,
miss
now
him.
we're to the
Now
local
we're
one.
local. Absolutely. And again, we did mention Red. Her parents are local. They get to come to the bird dog club and do bird dog things. But let's talk about Blue. Blue is one of our locals. Tell us about how Rollin' Blues is doing.
Roland Blues was one of the smallest puppies and has remained that way. But her new name is Scout. She is now owned by a dear friend, David, as he embraces this new dog dad experience that he's having. He has his new place, and I figured every place needs a dog. So that's what makes it a home.
Absolutely.
So he has fallen in love, head over heels, over this dog. This is his soul, and they are having so much fun. He has now decided that he wants to get involved in all things dog. This is his lifelong calling. He never knew
Good.
that he was supposed to have.
Yes.
So he is out
This
at the bird
podcast is
dog
for
club
him
with
then.
us. Yes, the bird dog club is his favorite place. Like he is embracing every part of training. He is enjoying posting little videos of fetching and recall and
Mhm.
all the bird dog things.
Oh,
So it just he can't say highly enough about how easy it is to train her. And as a breeder, that makes me really, really
yeah.
excited.
And as his first time dog, he's doing really well. And it lets you know that you've picked some really good puppy people that are willing to learn and grow, especially coming from, no training, no dog of their own besides family dogs. But they're really cute to watch. He'll post on his social media, and he checks in, and he's just, you can tell he is head over heels for this puppy, and doing all the right things to spoil her, creating a line of communication, working with her. They have a really good retrieve and working on those
Yes.
little obedience things, and he's fun to watch. Absolutely.
Yes, I love it so much.
Oh my
The
goodness. You
rest.
guys did such a good job picking puppy people. And he's a really good friend, guys. And fortunately, through you guys, now a really good friend of mine. So again, we get to hang out with Miss Scout all the time. And that brings us to Orange. You had two boys. You wanted a keeper boy out of the one that went to Wisconsin, which is now Rennie. And this one, you picked this one. How's he doing?
Yes, I
What's
picked
his
this
name?
one.
What's going on with
His
him?
registered name is Sanguine Moon's Voodoo Child, and his call name is Maverick. He is in a guardian home. And again, we'll have to talk about those contracts in another
Yep.
episode. But he is, per paper, my dog. He is, everything about it is my dog. However, he lives with Skylar. And so Skylar is basically keeping him safe, building that relationship, and helping along with the training, having that bond. And then I will end up taking him back. We'll do the events that we need to go to, any competitions, any health testing. I'll cover. If he qualifies, I'll breed him. And then after a couple of litters, I get my use out of him. Then I would neuter him, and then he would now belong to Skylar. So that is Skylar's end goal with the Guardian Home, is that he'll be able to still have a puppy and not really have to worry about that first front financial cost and training, because I'm
Yeah,
covering it all. So it has a really good benefit to both of us. He is doing
absolutely.
phenomenal. He is also turning out to be quite a big boy, bigger than what
Oh,
I think I originally anticipated. But oh, he's so beautiful. I love his head structure. I love how he already naturally really stacks. Skylar has done a really good job along with his spouse. And so they have been training and going out and just doing things and really getting him ready for the world, ready for the bird dog world. And I'm having a lot of fun. I get to see him. I take Mr. Maverick out to the training events and training days that we go to. So we're able to have a lot of fun and participate still a lot with him in his life. But oh, I'm really ecstatic about showing him. I think he'll be a good one.
he's handsome. And he's there. The boys just, I mean, the girls are sweet, but the boys were just
The
so
boys are
extra
docile.
sweet.
Yeah,
Yes.
they were
He's just,
docile compared to
he
the
sees
girls.
you, and yeah, they just want to be in your lap and love on you. So we have a few more local dogs, and I guess that brings us to Black Puppy, which, I'm gonna
Yes.
say is probably my favorite. How's she
Yes.
doing? What's her name? Where's she at?
What's her name? All right, all right, all right. So her name is Sanguine Moon's what is her name?
Dark Star.
Pause. Okay. Her name is Sanguine Moon's Dark Star with two R's to give heritage to that shooting star lineage. I absolutely loved her. She was burgundy at first, and then transitioned into black when we got the new adult kind of or larger puppy collars. She was one that I always had my eye on. Ryan really had his eye on her too. And that was going to be a difficult one to let go for sure. So after seeing her personality compared to Red, seeing some of her structure, seeing what you needed in your household, I decided that she needed to go to Melinda. So she is now
Yes.
Ramona.
She's the best. She's the best. I'm loving her. Yeah, it was funny. I don't think I've told you this. So we were hanging out. I think it was the day you had an open house for the socialization of the pups, and so puppy buyers could come over. And I don't know who you're on the phone with, but you're like, "Yeah, Melinda has her eye on red and black." And I said, my ears perked. I said, "I don't think I said black." And you mentioned it again. And I said, "Oh, I think she's looking at black for me." And I was walking out to my car that day and I said, are you considering black for me? And you said, "Yeah." I said, "Okay." And I thought about it for a second and I said, "I want black." I just knew that if you were considering that enough to bring it up a few times, that it was
Yeah.
going to be the right dog, right? There was a reason you were considering her, a reason why you felt that should be the dog. And that's who it turned out to be. And every day I'm enamored with this dog. We have so much fun together. So good pick.
Yeah, she is a Stitch Junior, I would venture to say. And I know I had a lot of fun with Stitch. I still do. And so I wanted to see you have a similar experience with the amount of education you have and training to see how far you would go with that. So I was really excited to make that pairing, and I'm glad you were accepting of it because I still think it's a really perfect fit.
It is. It's again, your breeder knows these puppies. They put a lot of time and energy into creating them. They had a very particular goal in making them. And then when they get to see them day to day, they have a very good idea of who these puppies could become and who should be able to work with each of them. And I love that Ramona was my pick. She's so fun. We've got to do a whole bunch of stuff with her. Again, we get to have these fun meetups with the other puppy people at our local clubs. So we've done some gunfire, some introduction to quail, a little bit of steadiness, and the normal urban basic obedience of socialization and leash walking and patio stuff. And we're having a blast, but we have more puppies local. So
More babies.
let's push to I'm really happy I got to keep one. I told myself I wasn't going to, and I think you kind of told yourself the same. So
Mhm.
let's hear now about how Purple is doing. Where's she at? What's her name? What's
All
going
right,
on
so
with her?
we are a sucker for it. Stitch was purple collar, Lilo was purple collar, and then we had another purple collar girl, and Ryan and I both secretly had a little crush on her. The moment she was born, I thought her markings were very attractive. And the more that she grew, the more that I knew I wanted her. But I didn't want to admit that we were going to have another pet in the home, as we had discussed that we were going to, rehome all the puppies. We weren't going to keep any. We were going to put them in different homes, and we weren't going to keep any in home. It's what we were dedicated to. Um, the other puppies kept trickling out, and I were like, hey, I'd put her up against another puppy, and the like, I think this other puppy would work well for you, but here's also purple. And they would always select the other puppy. And so as it just trickled down and purple was still here, and I looked at Ryan and I said, I think I did this to myself. And he goes, yeah, I think you did too. And so he goes, well, we're not keeping her because nobody's had the conversation. And so after a couple of weeks of doing that, we had the conversation. And so she is now Sanguine Moon's Woodstock Boogie. Call name is Oogie Boogie.
I
She has
love
a
it.
lime green Ruffland coming. I'm so excited about it.
Ah,
Um, because she's the Oogie Boogie monster and
I
she's a
love
ball of
that.
fun as
Yes.
well. She has a really good bone to her. I really like her head shape. I think it offers a different variety to the male that we had held back, as well as Ramona. They all have a little bit of a
Mhm.
different variant of a head shape. So I really like having those options
Yeah.
available to me for the future. Um, I think she is gung ho about birds for sure. And I think she's pretty bulletproof when it comes to any noise and shock factor.
Yeah, I think her love for birds will outweigh any noise issues we may encounter. She is definitely one of the most natural bird dogs that you produce, I think, for sure.
Yeah, yeah. I was really pleased with her, and she was really interested from when we introduced them around 6 weeks to the chucker and
Mhm.
the quail. She was taking her first sniffs and trying to get in there and get to the birds. So she's a lot of fun. She still is. I ordered new Kato boards. So now we can really focus on moving around and doing all of the training there. I also still have one more.
Yes,
Uh,
literally. We have one more on the list, and you have one more.
yes.
So that's Light Pink now. Tell us about sweet little Light Pink. We love her.
Sweet little light pink. She threw me for a loop. She, in the litter, was very bold, very assertive. And so I thought she was going to also be a wild child. But it turns out as the other puppies went home that she became very docile, very calm, and just very much a lover. And I haven't found that
Mm,
perfect home for her yet. I've had a couple of people interested, but not quite meeting some of the criteria. And so we've just turned it into a high gear, into training. So she also goes out to the training days with us. She's more potty trained than Boogie is. Um, she is kennel trained. She will hop in her kennel whenever you say kennel. She will run to that bad boy and just look at you and wait for you to close the door already at 14 weeks. She's done really great with everything that we've really thrown at her. She's walking well on a leash. She is very socialized to different environments. I take her into work. She's had quite a few vaccines now because I am high risk working in an animal hospital that deals with parvo. I follow AHA guidelines, and so I'll vaccinate up to 5 times to ensure that they don't have the higher risk. So
mm-hmm.
she's been spoiled. She's definitely going to be a hard one. My son has fallen in love with her, and we affectionately call her Bubbles.
I
Mostly because
love
keeping
that
that
name.
Lilo and Stitch theme, where Bubbles was the like equivalent of their CIA kind of guy. But she's just the sweetest. She absolutely doesn't want to fight. She doesn't want to do any of that nonsense. She just wants to be
Mm-mm.
sweet and also go find birds.
Yeah. It's almost like personality-wise, her and Purple did like a little switch at one point
Yeah.
because
Yes.
Purple, we thought she was the very calm, docile puppy, and now she's very big and bold and
Mm-hmm.
go-getter in the field. And yeah, they definitely did a little switcheroo,
Little
but Bubbles
switch.
is sweet. I'm really excited to see what home she eventually does go to because man, she's just a sweet puppy. I love her.
Yeah, they're gonna be a lucky one, whoever gets her. But she'll find her perfect home. Until then, I'll hold on to her and keep training her up.
Yeah. Well, if you're listening to this episode and you're looking for a quality GSP puppy, we got one. By the time you hear this episode, she's going to be around 16 weeks, fully vaccinated, a lot of training under her belt, and ready for somebody to make her a very happy puppy in the field and in the home. But these puppies are doing awesome. I mean, the time just flew right by. Every day I kind of do the math in my head and I'm like, holy crap, these puppies are going to be grown before we know it and doing tests and everything else. So,
Yes.
thank you for the hard work you did with these puppies. I love Ramona. I know these other families are so happy with their puppies. My husband comes home and instantly snatches this puppy and he's hiding away with her right now. He loves her. But yeah, I'm happy to hear the puppies are doing well. We'll post lots of pictures of them on our Instagram so you can see how they're all doing, what they're looking like. And other than that, Bethany, thanks for your hard work and joining me on another episode.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for trusting in me to build the perfect puppy for you.
It's like alchemy, I tell you, you mastered it.
It has been a lot of fun.
Thank you for listening to this episode of the Next Generation Dog Podcast. Weekly episodes are released on Fridays on Spotify and YouTube. Please follow the Next Gen Dog Pod on YouTube, Spotify, Instagram, and Facebook for even more content dedicated to all things dogs. Follow Urban Uplander Pet Care and Sanguine Moon Kennels on Instagram and Facebook.